Once upon a time, in a quaint town nestled in the countryside, lived a man named Ethan. He was a good, hard-working soul, respected by everyone who knew him. Ethan shared a deep and unbreakable bond with his mother, Eleanor. Now an old woman, Eleanor had been his entire world when he was a boy. She had nourished him, nursed him through sicknesses, and always ensured he had what he needed, often at the expense of her own comfort. Ethan's love for his mother was a quiet, steady river that ran through the very core of his being. One day, on a business trip to the bustling city, Ethan's life changed forever. He met Chloe, a woman who seemed to be made of pure light and energy. She was vibrant, with a laugh that could chase away any shadow and a smile that captivated him instantly. Ethan fell for her hard and fast. Chloe was everything he had ever imagined in a partner: intelligent, confident, and full of life. After a whirlwind romance of a few months, Ethan proposed, and she joyfully accepted. It was the single happiest moment of his life. Ethan brought his new bride back to his town to live with him and Eleanor. At first, their home was filled with harmony. Eleanor welcomed Chloe with a warm heart, and Chloe seemed to be adjusting well. But as the months wore on, a subtle chill began to creep into their home. Chloe started to feel constricted by Eleanor's presence. She disliked the old-fashioned way Eleanor spoke and felt the constant, quiet weight of her gaze. One evening, an exhausted Ethan returned home from a long day at work, his stomach rumbling with hunger. He walked in to find a tense and silent house. Chloe was on the sofa, her arms crossed, her face a mask of displeasure. Ethan could feel the friction in the air. "Chloe," he said softly, "I'm starving. Could you please bring me something to eat?" Chloe's head snapped up, but she didn't look at him. "There is no food," she said, her voice clipped and cold. Ethan was taken aback. Chloe always prepared dinner while his mother rested. "What do you mean? Why isn't there any food?" he asked, trying to grasp the situation. Chloe shot to her feet, her face flushed with anger. "Your mother happened," she exclaimed. "She said awful things to me today. She called me lazy, useless. I can't live like this, Ethan. I just can't." Ethan was stunned. What did she say exactly? She's old, Chloe. Sometimes she says things she doesn't mean. But Chloe was far too angry to be reasoned with. "I don't care how old she is. I hate her. I refuse to stay in this house with her for another day. You have to choose, Ethan. It's either me or your mother." Ethan's heart felt as if it had been squeezed in a vice. He couldn't process the words he was hearing. How could Chloe, the woman he loved, ask him to make such an impossible choice? His mother had been his rock, his foundation, his entire life. She had cared for him, and now, in her old age, she needed his care in return. That night, sleep was a stranger to Ethan. He lay awake, staring into the darkness, his mind a battlefield of conflicting emotions. What was he supposed to do? He adored Chloe. She was young, beautiful, and vibrant. A paralyzing fear gripped him. If Chloe left, he would never find another woman like her. But the thought of abandoning his mother, the woman who had sacrificed everything for him, was a betrayal so profound it made him feel sick. The next morning, Ethan sat at the kitchen table, his head buried in his hands, feeling utterly lost. Chloe entered the room, her posture radiating a cold confidence. She stood before him, her expression unyielding. "Ethan," she said, her voice like ice, You know what you have to do. I am young and beautiful. You will never find anyone else like me. If you want me to stay, you need to make your decision now. I can't live like this." Ethan looked up at her, his eyes clouded with sorrow. He was speechless. A terrible part of him knew she was right. He loved her beauty, her fire. But deep in his soul, he knew he could not cast his mother aside. Later that day, consumed by fear and desperation, Ethan made a horrific decision. He would take his mother deep into the mountains and leave her there. It was a cruel, heartless practice he had only heard of in grim old tales for people who could no longer care for their elders. But he felt trapped, with no other way out. He told his mother they were going for a scenic walk, and she smiled, delighted at the prospect of spending time with her son. They left the house and began the arduous climb up the steep mountain path. With every step, the weight on Ethan's soul grew heavier. His mother, frail and weak, did not complain once. She simply held onto his arm, her trust in him absolute. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the summit. Ethan stopped, his heart hammering against his ribs. He looked at the desolate landscape, trying to summon the courage to do the unspeakable. But before he could utter a single word, Elinor looked up at him, her eyes filled not with fear, but with an ocean of love. "Be careful on your way down, my son," she said, her voice a gentle whisper. "I know why you brought me here." "You don't need to say it. Just be safe." In that single, devastating moment, Ethan's heart shattered. He saw a flash of every sacrifice she had ever made. The nights she stayed awake when he was sick, the way she fed him before she ate, the long hours she worked to give him a chance at a better life. Hot tears streamed down his face as the full weight of his monstrous plan crashed down on him. He could not do it. He could never leave her. As Ethan stood on that cold, lonely mountain with his mother, the wind whispered through the pines like a mournful song. All he could hear were the echoes of Elinor's kindness, the lullabies she sang, the stories she told. The weight of his guilt was crushing. How could he have contemplated abandoning the one person who had only ever shown him unconditional love? His mother, Elinor, stood beside him, her quiet strength a stark contrast to his inner turmoil. Her frail, wrinkled hand rested gently on his arm. She wasn't angry or disappointed. She was simply calm, as if she had already forgiven him for a sin he had yet to fully commit. "Son," she said again, her voice soft but clear, "I know life with me has been hard for you and Chloe. She is your wife. It is not easy to balance everything. But I am your mother. And a mother never abandons her son, not even when she is old and a burden. Don't worry about me. You've done more than enough." Each word was a dagger of guilt in Ethan's heart. Even now, when he had brought her to this desolate place to leave her, she was still thinking of his well-being. He looked at her, his vision blurred by tears, his throat too tight to speak. His passionate love for Chloe had blinded him, leading him to this precipice of cruelty. Suddenly, his mind was flooded with memories. He remembered her staying up all night, placing cool cloths on his forehead when he had a fever. He remembered her working her fingers to the bone to provide for him. He remembered her laughter, a rare and precious sound in their humble home. Elinor had given him everything, and this was how he intended to repay her. Ethan collapsed to his knees, the emotional dam inside him breaking. He buried his face in his hands and wept like a lost child. His mother knelt beside him, her touch a comforting presence in his storm of shame. She didn't need to speak. Her love was a language more powerful than any words. "I'm so sorry, Mom," Ethan choked out between sobs. "I don't know what I was thinking. I can't do this. I can't leave you." Eleanor stroked his hair, just as she had done when he was a small boy seeking comfort from a nightmare. "It's all right, son. I understand. You are in a difficult place. But remember, love is not about choosing who to discard. It is about finding a way to care for everyone, even when it is hard." Her words settled deep in his soul. Her wisdom was not a demand or an ultimatum. It was a gentle truth. She was not asking him to choose her over Chloe. She was asking him to understand that true love expands to hold everyone. It does not shrink to exclude. After a long, healing silence, Ethan rose to his feet and helped his mother up. He had made his choice. He could never betray her. She had given him life, and he would honor that gift by caring for her until her last day, no matter the cost. As they descended the mountain, the setting sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple. The beauty of the world felt sharp and painful. He knew what awaited him at home. Chloe would not accept his decision, but his heart, though heavy, was resolute. When they entered their home, the air was cold and still. Chloe was waiting, her arms crossed, her face an unreadable mask. "I've been waiting for hours, Ethan. Where were you?" she asked, her voice sharp. Ethan took a deep breath, settling his mother gently into a chair before facing his wife. "We went for a walk," he said quietly. "I needed to think." Chloe's eyes narrowed. "And did you finally make a decision?" His heart pounded, but his voice was steady when he spoke. "Yes, I have. I love you, Chloe, more than I can say. But I also love my mother. I cannot and I will not choose between you." Chloe's face twisted into a mask of fury. "What are you saying? I gave you a choice, Ethan. It's her or me. You can't have us both." A wave of profound sadness washed over Ethan. He had once believed Chloe was his soulmate. Now, in the harsh light of her ultimatum, he saw the deep chasm between their values. Her beauty and charm seemed hollow in the face of such coldness. "I can't throw my mother out, Chloe. She raised me. She was there for me when I had nothing. I will not betray her." Rage contorted Chloe's features. Without another word, she stormed into their bedroom and began furiously packing a suitcase. "If that's your final answer, then we're done. You chose her. I won't stay here another minute." Ethan watched, his heart aching with the pain of his broken marriage, but his conscience was clear. He had made the right choice. In the corner, his mother sat silently, tears glistening in her old eyes, but she said nothing. Chloe slammed the front door behind her, her departure leaving a gaping silence in the house. The weight of it was immense, but within that silence, Ethan felt a strange, quiet peace. He had not chosen the demanding, conditional love Chloe offered. He had chosen the selfless, enduring love his mother had given him his entire life. He walked over to his mother and knelt before her. "I'm sorry, Mom," he whispered. "I should have never let it get this far." Eleanor smiled through her tears, placing her warm, frail hand on his cheek. "You did the right thing, Ethan. True love is about sacrifice and loyalty. You will find your way. And one day you will find someone who understands that.